who sort of don't know who you are, because in Australia there's a little known fact that we have absolutely no internet. Like, I'm speaking to you right now on a cup and a string. So can you please give sort of a brief introduction on sort of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm a Twitch.tv streamer. I've been doing it for about 8 or 9 years. Right now, you know me because I either play a lot of video games or because I do political content. It's about like half and half of what I do at the moment.
Awesome. So how did you initially get started into streaming?
A long time ago. Hold on, let me just make something of mine. Basically, a long time ago, I used to play a lot of video games. I mean, I still play a lot of video games, but I did it at high school with a bunch of friends, and we all had a good time. It's funny stuff. And around this time, I had a friend, Kyle, I think, recommended me to try to get into streaming. I don't know if he recommended it directly, but he pointed me to some people that did it, and I thought it'd be fun to try it. So I kind of did it a little bit in the early days as like a for fun thing, and then I seemed to grow in viewership, and it kind of just grew from there.
Awesome. So what about it exactly initially did it interest you? Was it just purely being able to play games and sort of monetize that?
I think the social aspect was a big thing. The monetization was not like a big thing at all in the early days until I switched over and started doing it full time, which was I think about a year into it. But it was more just the idea of like playing a lot of games and then making people laugh and do that kind of stuff. It's something that I've always kind of been good at.
Okay. And like I'm not too sure how many questions also I must point out there, because I know we're on stream and whatnot, and there might be a couple of questions that, like, obviously those two there that a lot of people have already heard and whatnot, so I apologize in advance. I probably should have done the start. But anyway, there might be a couple of new one or a couple of old ones you've already gone through. So
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah. Anyway, so and you've also talked about sort of like you say you're sort of a unique case when it comes to streaming, in terms of like how you deal with sort of criticism in the general community. And so in that case, so what for yourself is the hardest part of streaming?
The hardest part of streaming, I mean, there's a lot of hardest parts. I guess it depends on the kind of person you are. I guess for me, the hardest part is probably maintaining like a consistent schedule, as dumb as that is. Dealing with, especially when I do the political content, dealing with all of the massive amounts of hate you can get online can be pretty difficult when it bleeds over into real world stuff. People calling the police and the FBI and whatnot to go to your house gets pretty rough. But I mean, otherwise, I enjoy it very much. I mean, I consider myself very lucky to have this job. You know, I've got hard things that I do, but it's all stuff that I deal with. You know, maintaining email relationships with sponsors and reaching out to collaborate with people and finding content for stream and whatnot. So
Okay. And so, how many years have you been streaming? Was it been about 10 now? Or
almost. I think I started in 2010, early or mid 2010, and we're coming to the end of 2018 now. So I'd say almost 9 years.
okay, cool. So, how have you kept streaming fresh for yourself?
When I approached streaming, I made a very deliberate decision pretty early on to always make it so that the content was stuff that I wanted to be involved in. So I've never like done events that I wasn't interested in, never played games that I didn't want to play, and I've never done things or committed myself to things that I wasn't enthusiastic about doing. So I think that's been a big help in maintaining my drive to stream. You know, I've always woken up and I've wanted to stream every day, and I've had a lot of fun doing it, and I still have a lot of fun doing it. So
Do you believe that's sort of had any sort of impact on your potential success in streaming? Or possibly...
yeah. I mean, it's possible that I could have more viewers doing certain things, playing certain games, not playing certain games. It really depends. But I think that your mental health, I think a lot of people devalue your mental health. You know, we can put a price tag on things like income, on things like viewers, on things like sponsors, on things like subscriptions, and, all of these different numbers that we quantify, the hell out of every single thing we do. But in terms of like mental happiness, people never seem to value that as much. Like, if I could sacrifice $10,000 a month, for more sanity, would I do it? A lot of people don't really seem to think about these things. So I'm okay forgoing a little bit of financial success to make sure that I stay mentally sane and I continue to enjoy doing what I do.
And so what do you credit your success online with? What are some of the credits you sort of give yourself on your success?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I would say comedy. I would say like humor and skill probably carried my early streams a lot, probably more so the humor than anything else. I was pretty good at StarCraft, and I think I'm a pretty funny person. I have a pretty diverse background too. Like, I connect with a lot of my audience on a pretty personal level. I'm pretty open about most of my life, and I think I've had a pretty diverse set of experiences that have let a lot of people relate to me in different ways, or just provided entertainment for others that couldn't.
Okay. And what future goals do you have in streaming? Because I've heard, especially you've talked about doing sort of a podcast thing or doing some more IRL, but like, are these still things you're sort of thinking about doing, or what other things are you sort of in the midst of?
The number one goal for myself, the way that I view my life, is I try to make sure that I'm always happy. That's always the thing that I maximize for myself. So I don't have like I say that because some people have like drives for like maximum career fulfillment or establishing a legacy for the ages or being the best or the biggest in something. And that's not really my goal. You know, I really enjoy doing what I do, and I kind of hope to just continue to do that. You know, I kind of point myself in certain directions where maybe I'll try to work with other larger streamers. Maybe I'll take YouTube a little bit more seriously. I'm trying to build an Instagram right now, and I'm probably going to be doing some sort of podcast in the future, you know, soon. Damn, I keep saying that. But yeah, you know, I kind of have things that I point myself at, directions that I slowly work towards, but I don't have a huge ambition to pursue like any particular project or achieve like any particular goal at the moment. Just kind of chugging along.
So for networking, it seems like you seem to be a sort of master, I guess, at networking, because there's so many sort of connections over the years that you seem to make, whether good or bad. And so what's your usual either way it comes around or tactic in connecting with people?
The networking stuff is something I only actually started a few years ago. My networking in the first like 4 to 6 years of my career was really bad because I was pretty much of the mindset that if I don't like somebody, I'm going to roast them as hard as possible because I don't value networking or connections. That hurt my career a lot in the early days. I guess as of recently, I don't know. I feel like I'm a pretty social person, and if you hang out with me, we generally will get along. So most of my relationships have grown pretty organically from that, I think. I have Lily to thank, Lily Pichu, a lot because we hung out a lot in Taiwan, and then she connected me to a lot of different people that have been pretty instrumental in me connecting with a lot of other people. For instance, I met the ex-CEO of CLG through her, and then I've formed connections with a lot of the people in her, I guess like her gaming house, like Offline TV, because of her. So.
Okay. And is there anything you wish to do better in terms of sort of how you talk to people or networking or more events you possibly want to go to in that sort of regard?
I mean, I just keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, I maintain email contacts with a lot of people. I'm kind of collaborating with more people on Twitch now in terms of, you know, podcast stuff that I'm on or other people that I'm talking to or playing games with. Yeah, I'm trying to grow my tendrils out more. It seems like people that operate within these groups of streamers tend to be more successful and have more fun than people that don't. So yeah, I'm trying to reach out and do that a little more.